Hey guys, it's Luke bringing you my top 6 value plays for the 3M Open in 2021. In this video, I'm going to be covering my top 6 plays for my custom model, priced $7,500 and below on Draftkings. My goal is to give you guys some plays further down the board you can use for some salary relief, some ownership leverage, or even some potential long shot bets if you like them enough. My picks are going to be based on my comprehensive custom model that I make for every event and every course for the PGA Tour. On top of my video content, if you guys are looking for even more content for all of my predictions and whatnot, make sure to check out my Patreon page. I give my predictions for every single player in the field, all 156. I also give ownership numbers, give some game theory notes, and even more. You can ask any questions you'd like. You get direct access to all of that. And the best part is it's only $1, so it's a great deal. You get a ton of content for that, and again, it's for every single golf tournament. I post them every single week. I update them every single day, so make sure to check that out. The link is in the description. Without further delay though, guys, let's hop into my top 6 value plays for this week's event. So for all of these stats we go over right here, they're all going to be over the last 28 measured rounds if I don't say anything, so just keep that in mind. But at number 6 for my value plays, we have Rafael Campos at the dead minimum of just $6,000. He's not coming in amazing form by any means, but he made a cut at the Barbasol. He ended up finishing 20th there. He also had a made cut 4 starts before that. And at $6,000, he gives you a lot more value than you'd expect from somebody at the minimum. Again, he did have 3 missed cuts before that top 20 finish, had a made cut before that, but he's still one of the best birdie or better percentage players in the entire field. He comes in number 6 over that span, and a lot of that has to do with him just missing the cut when he misses these cuts. He has missed all 3 of those cuts by 1 shot. He missed them on the number, and when he made the cut, he's done very well. Especially if you look at his Draftkings scoring, he's somebody who gains in terms of Draftkings scoring, especially due to his price tag. If he can get hot with the putter, he's done so when he's made the cut. He's definitely somebody who could put himself in contention, I think, at TPC Twin Cities. If you take a deep dive into his game, you can see that he's one of the longer hitters in the field. He averages 312 yards per drive. That's top 10 in the field. He's somebody who's a little bit, not as accurate off the tee. Whenever you have that distance, usually the trade-off is the accuracy. But at TPC Twin Cities, the only real trouble off the tee is water. So if he can avoid the water off the tee, the rough isn't going to be very penal. He's going to be able to make his hay on his approach shots in that 125 to 150 yard range. And as a result, I think he's worth a few shots at the dead minimum price. At number 5, we have Troy Merritt, a $7,500 golfer who's coming in with really good form. Even though he's off 2 missed cuts, I really like this as a good spot for him to rebound. He's been gaining 0.97 shots gained per round with his flat stick. He also comes in top 10 in the field in birdie or better percentage. Again, he's not one of the longer players on tour. He's somebody who's relatively accurate off the tee, though. Averages right around 70% of fairways. And like I said, he did miss those 2 straight cuts. A lot of people aren't going to be willing to be playing Troy Merritt. But before those 2 missed cuts, he made 7 of his last 8 cuts and has 2 top 7 finishes. He's shown the upside with the putter. He's gone hot with the irons from time to time. And really all you're looking for him off the tee is to, hit to a neutral level, to hit his fair share of fairways. He's not going to gain with his distance by any means. But at $7,500, likely low ownership, I really like him as a leverage play at $7,500. For my number 4 value pick, we have Scott Stallings. He comes in at $7,200, a pretty good price tag for somebody like Stallings. And he's somebody who's been sneaky good over the last few months. Now that he heads to a good venue for his game, that being TPC Twin Cities, I think he's primed to peak, especially at this time of the year. If we take a look at how he's played over the last 7 events, he's gaining solidly on approach and putting, gaining 0.44 strokes in each category over that stretch. And on top of the excellent advanced metrics, he's somebody who's been much longer off the tee this year, and he's really been much longer over the last 7 events specifically. He's averaged 310 yards on his drives over that span, and that's a plus 10 yard average from what we saw earlier on this year. I don't know the specific reason why we haven't had any interviews with Scott Stallings or anything like that, but usually when you have a 10-yard addition to somebody's off the tee game, it's usually a change in equipment. They may have a longer driver, they may have a new type of driver, a different loft on it. For whatever the reason is though, he's hitting the ball further. He's not quite as accurate, but again, at this venue, I think that plays right into his strengths. So he's averaging 3.94 birdies per round. He clearly has enough firepower to go low at an event like this. And I think at the $7,200 price tag, he's going to be one of my foundational pieces in that lower $7,000 range. For my number 3 value pick, we have Pat Perez. He's a $7,100 golfer, also in that low 7K range. So these are going to be my 2 stalwarts in that range. And he's gaining nicely everywhere but off the tee. And he might be able to get away with his losing off the tee because a lot of that has to do with his distance. He's somebody who hits his fair share of fairways. So just like Troy Merritt, if he's able to keep it in the fairway, keep it right around a neutral off the tee game, I really like his chances. In terms of his other strengths, though, he comes in number 7 in the field in birdie or better percentage. And he's gaining solidly across the board, except for off the tee, with 0.33 strokes gained on approach per round, 0.29 strokes around the green per round, and 0.59 strokes putting per round. So if he can avoid that trouble, if he can lean on his strengths, which is pretty much the rest of his game, he can capture that birdie upside that he's had over those last 7 events. I think he's somebody who can contend and has a very similar upside to somebody like Scott Stallings. For my number 2 value pick, we have Jhonattan Vegas, upwards of $7,500, but he's somebody who's going to be chalk. Pretty much everybody's talking about Jhonattan Vegas this week, but I definitely think it's well warranted. He comes in gaining 1.32 shots gained ball striking per round and has been putting much better than usual. He's only losing 0.17 strokes per round putting. He's typically one of the worst putters on tour, but as of late, he's definitely found something with the flat stick. As a result of the putting woes going away, he has made 7 straight cuts, something that we haven't seen from Vegas in his career to this point. He also has 3 top 11 finishes over that same stretch. So he's most certainly underpriced for this field at $7,500. We're going to have to keep a tab on his ownership number, though. Again, he's somebody I think that's going to be relatively highly owned. He's not a secret at this point. He has those 7 straight made cuts. He has those 3 top 11 finishes. But if he's under the 16% or 17% mark in terms of ownership, I'll be willing to go there. And finally, for my number 1 value play, somebody who's been a staple of these value plays over the last month or so, that is Satoshi Kodaira, a $6,500 golfer who's been a play of mine 3 out of the last 5 weeks on this video. He's coming off another solid performance at the Barbasol Championship, a top 20 finish, and he's somebody who's been excellent over the last 7 events when we've been playing him. He is averaging 0.33 shots gained per round off the tee, 0.22 on approach, and 0.47 putting. And on top of the really solid shots gained metrics, he's number 6 in the field of birdie or better percentage, and he's been one of the better value plays over the last month. For some reason, he hasn't garnered much ownership as well. He's been kind of one of those sneaky guys who posts a top 10, posts a top 15 finish, ends up in the optimal lineup, yet not many people are talking about him. The icing on the cake for him is that he's a bent grass specialist of sort. He averages 0.29 shots gained higher than he typically putts on the bent grass surface. So I think it's an ideal cash play in terms of Kodaira this week. I also think he's a really high upside GPP play as well. He's going to be my highest owned player in the $6,000 range. He's going to be maybe 5 to 10 times owned than any other player I have in that range. I have a lot of confidence in him. He's one of the few guys further down the board. I believe it's JJ Spawn. I'm going to take a few chances on Rafael Campos. Keith Mitchell, somebody I'm also going to put in a few lineups for a few chances. But I'm going to have Kodaira as my solid foundational piece down there. That's all for my top 6 value plays, guys. Let me know in the comments who your favorite play $7,500 and under is for a chance to win a free month of my PGA projections. My ownership reaction video will be out tomorrow morning. That will cover my top 3 fades and sleeper picks for the 3M Open. People that I think are being overlooked, overhyped. We'll go through it all to get you guys ready to make some lineups. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the content. It really helps me out with growing the channel, and it also makes sure that you guys can catch my content as soon as I post it. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to do so. And if you guys could like the video, I'd enjoy that as well. Good luck with your lineups this week, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow for the ownership reaction.